I recently covered the classic horror game Eve on my channel and had a fantastic time with it, and yes, I said Eve this time. Anybody that's watched the video knows that I was calling it Eve the entire time.
Everyone has their blind spot!
I said that will be all!
Mistakes were made, the world keeps on spinning, it doesn't erase the fact that that game was a lot of fun. It felt like a short, just dark fantasy fairy tale you might read to your child at night before bed, and honestly, sometimes it's just fun to play a game where you are presented a story, just a self-contained story with not insanely high stakes, where you can just enjoy the journey along the way. I'm not going to dive too deep into the story right here because I do think you should go play it, but essentially the simple story synopsis is that Ib is a girl who gets brought to a museum with her parents. She ends up being transported to a dark world where she has to try and find her way back home. If you're interested in seeing the full playthrough and my thoughts on it, you can go watch the video I made on it. Otherwise, go ahead and go pick it up for yourself. It's not that expensive and it's available on a lot of platforms now. It's not an insanely difficult game. I mean, you could probably beat it in an hour and a half, 2 hours max, depending on how much you like to explore. But if you're like me while playing it, you get so into the story that I actually began to wonder if this would make a good movie. And while wondering if it'd make a good movie, there was really one movie that just kept popping up in my head over and over again. That was Coraline. I mean, my mind began racing on how cool it'd be to actually see a Coraline-style Eve movie by Henry Selick. It would be so freaking cool, and honestly, I'd probably go watch in the theaters 2 or 3 times, especially if they do a good job and remain faithful to the game. I mean, they have a lot of characters in the game that don't have an insanely lot to say. They only have one line. There's some characters that don't have any lines at all, but I think that they could kind of play with that a little bit, have a little bit of fun with the art, expand on the world and make it come to life in horrific yet interesting ways. On top of that, there's a lot of potential to have a lot of fun with a project like this, especially if you find the right voice actors to help bring the characters to life, and I have a few suggestions that I think would be perfect for an Eve movie. So why don't we go ahead and get started with our main cast members, Mary, Gary, and get the ball rolling with our heroine, Eve. Eve is adventurous and brave enough to keep moving forward despite the horrors that she may face, but she's also a kind of more or less silent protagonist. She does have a few voice lines sprinkled here and there, but not nearly enough that I would like to see out of this character, and I would like to see her expanded upon if they decide to make it into a movie. And when they decide to expand on it, I would love to see Jenna Ortega bring this character to life. She's one of the few actors and actresses in Hollywood that I actually trust to remain faithful to a character in a property, and I think that she would do a great job with this and have a lot of fun doing it too. Especially if you cast some cast members that would bounce off of her really well and possibly have some amazing chemistry with her. Now, I'm not sure that either one of these actors or actresses have ever worked with her before, but I just feel like they'd be great for Gary and Mary. For starters, Gary. I would love them to cast Nicholas Hoult to play Gary. I think that his voice and his energy with that character would be great. I know I made fun of Gary a lot during my recap and review of the game, but I actually really liked the character, and I think he was the most fun character in the game because he would be doing really brave stuff, but every once in a while his cowardice would show, even more than Eve's. Eve is a scared little child, but she keeps pressing forward and everything, but she really doesn't have a choice. Gary, it's almost like he feels responsible to keep pressing forward because he's the older of the two main characters. And I think Nicholas would be able to play with that and just have brought an amazing character to life. He is one of my favorite actors currently working in the industry right now, and he was great in The Great with Elle Fanning, so why not just go ahead and pair them up again and let them cook? I mean, Mary is a terrifying and awkward character who just escalates throughout the story to a point of where you genuinely feel unease just being around her, and I think Ella would do a great job with that character. Mary and Gary have such conflicting personalities that they bump heads a lot throughout the game, and if you've seen The Great, this is not new territory for these two actors. I think these three actors working together could really balance the tension, the comedy, the horror, in a way that would be enjoyable for everybody coming to view the movie. Now that that's out the way, let's talk about my casting picks for Eve's parents, because I honestly thought it might be a little bit fun with the fact that both these characters, they don't have a lot to say in the game. They really only pop in once or twice, maybe 3 times. I didn't do all 4 endings, so they may have popped up in other areas of the game that I just didn't see, but yeah, I would like to do a kind of Parks and Rec reunion Easter egg type thing. I would love to reunite Chris Pratt and Aubrey Plaza just like a quick little blink and you miss it moment. Yeah, I know Parks and Rec has absolutely nothing to do with an 8-bit horror game, but I really wanted Aubrey Plaza to play Goth Mommy, and I wanted to put an actor with her that I thought would be awesome to hear just alongside her once again. Why don't you go ahead and let me know down below if you guys think that Easter egg would be a cool idea. But who do we got next? Ooh, let's cast the creepy dolls next. These guys are unsettling, to say the least. They kind of look like the evil, rejected versions of Fraggle Rock characters, and I honestly, though, kind of feel like they'd be a lot of fun to play with also, kind of in a Dark Crystal kind of way. As far as who I would have voice acted for them, honestly, I would fill up the cast with any surviving members of Fraggle Rock first, and then sprinkle in some other people from other Muppet shows to voice these characters, and it would be perfect. I think it would be, honest to God, perfect, and I would love to see it happen. And not trying to change the story too much, but if you wanted to add additional characters to kind of join the journey along the movie with Ib, that way it kind of fans it out a little bit. There's an ant that she runs across in the thing that kind of has his own little thing going on. There are all these paintings and stuff throughout the game that you could definitely have fun with. Maybe not have them be companions, but you could give them voices and make them a little more terrifying. There's this stool in the game that, honest to God, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, 100% if this was a movie, that stool would be a companion through the entire game. There's even these stick figure guys that one of them challenges you to a very awkward game of hide and seek. I'm not going to spoil that one too much, but be prepared to get slapped. These other ones that you run into later that you have to literally chase down and stomp on, and that's just begging for a Godzilla or Kaiju reference. That needs to happen if they make this movie. And my final casting thing, and I saved it for last, you run into these five or six paintings that essentially it's a puzzle. You have to follow the clues on the puzzle and find out which person is telling the truth. That way you can find a wine key to basically solve the puzzle and everything on this grid. And I think it'd be fun to actually get 5 or 6 actors that are just experts at like clashing with each other, arguing with each other and stuff, and have some just really funny bickering happening during like that segment. And honestly, how great would it be to just have the cast of It's Sunny in Philadelphia do it? It would be really funny, and I really would love to see it happen. I mean, this entire list, obviously all these videos are wishful thinking on my part, but this would be my dream cast for this movie if they were to do it. So God, if you love me, which we both know you don't, you should try and make it happen. And if you want to talk about profits, I'm just saying, if we were to have Universal perhaps produce this film, then we might actually get a Ebe ride down the road at one of the theme parks if it does well enough. Even if it was just a seasonal Halloween ride, God, I would go to it. I would go to it multiple times. Imagine committed like actors like bringing the paintings to life to where they're crawling around the ground chasing you, or imagine this thing coming out of the wall and like reaching for you in the middle of the ride. There's a lot of potential here, and I would love to see like something like this happen. I know it's a pipe dream, but hey, it's my pipe dream, so I'm gonna dream it. That being said, I'm gonna bring this video to an end because I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. I really would love to see a project like this happen, and there's other ones that I'd like to see happen in the future, so expect more of these videos soon because I'm having a lot of fun with this series. I've been sick a lot recently, and you're gonna notice that in the If video. If you go back and watch it, I was miserable recording my voice lines, but I was really trying to stay on the schedule while recording that one. No excuses. I still had a great time with it, and I think you'll have a great time with the game too. So like I said before, if you haven't played it, go pick it up and see if you agree with my opinion that this would make a great movie. But either way, you guys have been great. If I've earned it, leave a like or dislike, subscribe down below, share out the video, help the channel grow, and I hope to see you guys back here very soon.